The VRMMO RPG Arc Earth Online gives the player total freedom. With there being no guides or progression, players have to hone and craft their own skills, while in other games, the methods of obtaining and mastering skills were provided. Here, they were forced to figure it out. The world grew infinitely, fueled by the player's ingenuity. Some studied magic, some amassed riches, some honed their own skills of choice. People completely immersed themselves into the game, and over time, the players developed entire kingdoms. But with this came battles to decide the fate of their nation. At the time, the warrior class were the most prevalent. They were easy to level up, and they were incredible in battle, but mages, on the other hand, did not fare so well. However, there was one place that proved to be their salvation, the kingdom of Alkia, ruled by the paladin Solomon. Mages started to come in droves for their new king, and with the help of the elders, a team of mages who sought to master all types of magic, more known as the 9 wise men, the kingdom thrived. But of the 9, the king trusted Danblf the most, known as Danblf, the one-man army, or the strongest player. The Paladin King Solomon summons Danblf, wanting him to face 10,000 monsters in battle who threaten his land. This information shocking the court. With all the other elders gone, this leaves only the old man to stop them. Danblf notes how the timing is suspicious. Solomon agrees, but still, he commands him to go and show them the might of his name. Back in the king's study room, they lose the formalities and just a bit about their performance. Danblf took a screenshot of his performance, knowing his king would love to see a replay. The two reminisce about how they came up with the funds to make Alkia, complimenting how they used their brains rather than bronze, enjoying that feature of the game. While the two enjoy a beverage, Solomon wants to know, why does he pour his drink back into his miser? The man tells him he just enjoys the fantasy aspect of the game, but also mentioning how he created his character. Even though Danblf hates how Solomon calls him a character and not his true self, having spent weeks watching all the wizard movies to create his ideal old man, when they get back down to business, they come to the conclusion that either someone is researching magic on the same level as they are, or it's a new species of creature. As he walks to his home, he talks to some NPC assistants he has, telling them about Luminaria and Sohao. Luminaria went to reinforce an allied kingdom, with having no backup, with her being known as the natural disaster. Sohao went off to defend their southern border, with him being known as the Great Wall. In his home, he says farewell to his two NPC assistants, telling them to watch over the place, hoping secretly that they weren't so predictable, but saying that would be too much to expect from NPCs. He rides his floating island into battle, where he summons his army, enhancing them with a singing angel for protection stats, summoning player 1 to find their leader. He then creates a path, asking their leader who sent them to attack, but after receiving no response, the two engage in close-hand combat, with him defeating their leader. The king praises his work, knowing as long as he has him, the kingdom can face any foe, and that was the last time anyone saw Danblf, with his time period being known as the Vanishing of the Elders, with this being the beginning that started an upheaval of Arc Earth Online. In the grasslands lies a small girl with long silver hair. She looks around at her naked body, being distraught. With her now being able to smell and taste, her robes are too big. As she walks around, a goblin attacks her, but she's easily able to defend herself. She hitches a ride back into town. Solomon does his daily check of his friends list to see that someone has arrived. Danblf has turned into a little girl. At Master Danblf's house, his blue-haired fairy attendant, Mariana, waits for him, cleaning his home and preparing his breakfast, talking to herself as if the master was home. Danblf meets with Solomon in his quarters, where the king questions if he's really Danblf. After this is confirmed, he laughs at his old friend, seeing that he's now a cute girl. Solomon had been waiting for his friend to return, to only have his cute little girl with all his credentials. Apparently, Danblf was playing around in his vanity box to change the appearance into this little girl, but he fell asleep, and he's now stuck this way, with him needing another item box. The two get down to business, and Danblf has been away for 30 years, with the other elders all disappearing as well, leaving Solomon to defend the city alone, causing much change in the kingdom. As they discuss the matter, Luminaria appears. Having heard Danblf has returned, Danblf yells at Solomon, with the king telling her only Luminaria made it back. Luminaria asks who this little girl is, and Solomon tells him that is Danblf. Luminaria embraces her, and the three of them sit down to eat. With the VMO RPG adding new features, with players now being able to eat and smell, Danblf is mad that Solomon is unable to explain how this all happened, but the Paladin King reminds her that he had to fight non-stop for the last 3 decades at this point, with Luminaria defending for 20, making Danblf apologize for his absence. Solomon has a mission for him now. He wants Danblf to become accustomed to the new changes, with the game taking away the use of floating islands. But luckily, all his stuff should still be inside of this floating island. But the biggest change is NPCs, with them now having emotions and being able to think on their own. When she goes back to her home, Mariana tackles her master, but then looks at the little girl, asking how is she able to get in using his key. Acquiring as if she's a thief, Solomon didn't want word to get out that one of their elders has been turned into a child, not wanting to start panicking the citizens. So for now, Danblf will be known as Mira, the pupil of the elder. She makes an excuse as to why he's not here, telling the girl that he's off in another country, raising an army. Mira praises the fairy's work, realizing that the woman has been here for 30 years, waiting for him to return. Mariana cries, wanting to see her master, but is very thankful to hear someone else's voice. Mira doesn't enjoy lying to people, making her feel very weird, with this feeling much different from the normal role-playing that she would do with the elders, with Mira also not enjoying being inside of this form, with her having to use the bathroom as a girl now, remarking how she used to be so dignified to only succumb to her new urges, talking out loud, which makes the fairy worry about her, coming to her aid, with Mira having to explain what she was talking about, and telling the girl to leave her alone. But then she starts to talk loud again, making the fairy come back to her, but this time she came to inform her that Solomon has called for her. Danblf makes his introduction as Mira to the court. Solomon tasks the girl to aid Luminaria on the battlefield, but being on the other side of the battle, with Mira having to defeat 800 troops, including an elder demon as their leader. One of the court guards asks for him to reconsider, with them knowing very little about this girl. Solomon smirks, ordering the girl to show them her power. An armored jeep races out of the kingdom, into the forest. Inside, Mira is freaked out, not knowing what this is. Garrett explains enthusiastically that this is a mobile jeep, being the quickest thing in the kingdom, thanking her for recharging the vehicle, with it needing magical stones to function, with Mira being able to easily create as many crystals as he would want, but the crystals that she makes are very rare commodities. The girl further complains how unpleasant he's driving. Renette comments how he's unsure if she's the pupil of the wise men, and if she can really handle it if she can't handle a bumpy ride. Mira is accustomed to his trash talking, welcoming it. Garrett does another one of his unnecessary maneuvers, making Mira curse his name. The group gets out, with the captain of the guards explaining that they've been tasked with keeping the troops at bay, but Solomon wants them to leave the elder demon to her, wanting to be reassured that she's in fact the pupil of the elder. Mira asked if he truly does not believe her, with the man saying he has no reason to. Mira sits to smell the flowers, enjoying the beauty of this world, asking if this is what their master is here to protect. Just then, they're ambushed by the enemy's army. The captain of the guards and the elite magic caster use a combination of air spells and simple sword work, showing their experience in battle. Mira applauds their work. She then spots the elder demon and his summoning crystal. The demon summons a cockatree with its black eyes, able to turn a person to stone. Mira summons a single black knight, slashing the beast's eyes, deeming that the battle is over now, and the knight has finished the job. But upon defeating it, the demon merges bodies as a grudgment. Mira finds it to be very interesting, but is soon caught off guard. Luckily, the black knight she summoned can shield her. Mira sees a purple light, with her being very drawn to the black crystal. The girl is curious by it, but this item being something the player can never pick up. Mira decides to do a little experiment, performing an elemental shift of her Dark Knight, jesting about what to call it. Her beast is able to shoot a massive Her beast is now able to shoot out a massive beam of energy from its mouth. Mira wanted it to be a test run, but soon sees that it's gotten out of hand. The two guards ask her, what does she mean? With Mira's creature being very difficult to control, only understanding go and stop, but not understanding technical maneuvers. She thinks she's seen enough and sends it back, summoning multiple black knights to easily defeat the grudgment. The guards only know of one man able to do such a feat, recognizing her as Danblf. Solomon has them report to him, but the two having no complaints on Mira. Solomon has a number of things to worry about, but is still very thrilled having Danblf back. Soon later, a horse carriage was brought out, with her being sent to the royal capital. Mira is soon heard struggling, with the court maids coming to change her clothes, of that of a noble lady. With Solomon finding the situation rather hilarious, Mira orders him to tell her, why is she here? Solomon gives her a refresher of the origin of the limited non-aggression pact. This being a pact back in the beginning stages of the game, with there being 3 royal kingdoms, that no matter what would happen would always win the war, no matter what player went against them. So when a horde of monsters rained down from the sky, sending the players into these 3 kingdoms to defend them, soon efforts were put into place of rebuilding rather than fighting, causing for the formation of the pact. The main part of the agreement is the ban of war for 10 years, but the pact soon expiring. All the wise men have returned now, but the other elders act more like individuals rather than a proper group. Solomon won't ask for them all to come back, but he does need some of them, just so his country can stay safe. Solomon commands Mira to find the other wise men and bring them back here. They decide to go to the brothel to look for Solhau first. Soul housed the Great Wall, elder of the Tower of Necromancy, and noted obsessor of immortality, with her thinking that the ancient temple of the Brothelist or the Cataclones would be a sanctuary. On the way out, Solomon gives her a request, with Mira already regretting accepting the quest. Garrett drives her to the towns, with them running over something on the road. Mira gets out of the carriage, seeing the man freaked out, looking at the body to see he's really done it this time. But it turns out it was a wandering zombie, with it being a non-attacking creature, but should be looking for shade in the daytime. In the city, Mira gets her C rank adventurers card. As she's walking about, a boy named Tak bumps into her. When she gets up, she sees Mira and Zeph chasing the boy. She first assumes that they're kidnappers, but they explain that this boy asked for their help, then took off running after they refused. The boy recently lost his parents, with them just so happening to be adventurers. The boy really wants to see his parents again, asking for adventurers to take him to the brothel on the 5th floor, with him hearing a rumor that there's a mirror there that allows him to speak to the dead, wanting to see them very badly. Mira agrees to help him, and the two adventurers don't believe what they're hearing, and also don't believe that she can actually protect him on the journey, so they volunteer to assist them. At the meeting place, they bring 2 new members as well to help them on the journey, named Asval and Flicker, with Flicker having an obsessive personality for cute girls. At the halls, Asval is blunt and asking if they can really trust her summoning techniques, not wanting to be rude, but seeing that summoners have been reduced to hobbyists rather than actual powerful spellcasters. Mira's distraught after hearing that her class had been reduced to such a way, but assures the man she can handle it. Then notices that Mira has a light spirit sword. Flicker notes how she shouldn't be able to see that, seeing that it uses spirit magic. Then she loses her mind, and I'm not allowed to show what happens. Inside, Mira summons an armored spirit to protect Tak. Enemies soon arrive, and Mira gets to observe how they fight. But after defeating the enemies, party members cause the halls to stink of enemy bodies. Mira complains about this, and then remembers how deeper in they have to go and how much more monsters they have to face. But they're having enough adventuring for one day, doing a 2-handed summoning of Alfina, her Valkyrie maiden. The Valkyrie notes how our master's appearance has changed quite a bit. Mira tells her she'll tell her all about it later. The group is taken aback by the Valkyrie. Mira orders her to defeat all the monsters in the dungeon and not to leave a single one behind. She elegantly annihilates them all. Mira sends her back, thanking her for the assistance. Zeph picks up some of the crystals, thankful that they don't have to fight anymore. Mira tells Tak how to use the mirror, but the boy asking to see his mom and dad, but the mirror doesn't show anything. As they wonder what's wrong, Zeph walks up closer to the mirror, asking for Larica, being his little sister, and his little sister appears. He's heartbroken to see his sister here. The girl was very sickly, with her always making dinner when he returned, but soon she was bedridden. Zeph would work the most dangerous quest to buy her medicine, but them having no parents to take care of her. On one of their missions, Absol hears about his sick sister, having been informed about her symptoms, with it sounding like a recent new illness, explaining how to cure it, with them not making it in time. Zeph cries, saying that he's very sorry that he wasn't able to get to her in time. Larica thanks him for all that he's done for her, but then yelling at him, not wanting to hear that type of talk from her brother. Zeph gets it back together, showing his sister how he's been living up to this point, with him still being very happy. The two of them say goodbye, but this is making Mira cry, knowing that even NPCs can cry now. Afterwards, Mira assures that Tak's parents aren't dead, but the adventurers post assuming that adventurers are dead after 5 years of absence. Mira needs to retrieve the demon scholar, being the NPC Howard, so she throws some of her holy water at the mirror, but Howard doesn't appear, but she does manage to summon something else instead that I'm not allowed to show. And this is where we're going to leave off in today's video. This anime is going to be broken down into multiple parts. And now if you like this video, here's another one just like it, so go check it out. Also, why not subscribe? I'll be uploading daily videos just like this one, so I'll see you next time.